Good afternoon. My name's Kevin Crowder. Get my props ready. And I'm a veteran of the United States Army. I'm a native Texan, but a 31-year resident of South Florida. And I'm the founder of Goodnight's Red River Spice Company, where we look to celebrate American culture through food and flavor. Our mission is to use the culinary experience to help improve social and physical health. During the pandemic is when we started this as sort of a side hustle. I own an economic development advisory company that's very successful working around the state. But, we were hosting our backyard and the barbecues and the cookouts with our neighbors. And everybody starts calling me grill master. And they start telling me I should sell my rubs and sell my recipes, telling me the same thing that every grill master in the United States has friends and family tell them. But what those grill masters don't have is a wife who does branding, marketing, and promotional products for some of the largest names in the food and beverage industry. And so she's listening to this and shows up one day with a corporate identity and branded my blends. We started with 5, we now have 12. At the same time, 2 years ago, I had a double hip replacement. And so I decided I need to drop some weight. I still need to drop some weight, but I wanted to start eating healthier. When my main business, we do a lot of market research. So I started doing research and I found that only 8 out of 21 potential meals a week we eat at home, and we don't even cook all of those meals. How many of you, how often do you cook at home? Are you cooking something uninteresting? Are you thinking I want some just American comfort food, but it's not healthy for me, so we'll make something with kale or something? And then I'm trying to lose weight, so I decided to do Nutrisystem. So I go to cook the Nutrisystem mashed potatoes one day, and I'm looking at the cooking instructions for microwaving, but I'm on the wrong side. So I start counting. 73 ingredients in the Nutrisystem mashed potatoes, and you can't pronounce 63 of them. People, mashed potatoes is 4 ingredients at the most. So I realized this was not about losing weight. This was about health. This was about not understanding what's in the things we put in our bodies. And so going through the Levan Center program, we went in as a spice company, but really came out thinking this is really about healthy lifestyles with food and flavor and spice as a foundation. This happens because it's easy and it's cheap to eat poorly. Kids are screaming in the back seat. It's drive-through garbage day. We may be intimidated to cook for other people. We may not be educated. We may not know how to cook, especially cook healthy. We've been miseducated on what is and is not healthy food. We use food inflation at the grocery store as an excuse to go out to eat, when in fact, restaurant food inflation is at a higher rate than grocery inflation. So we want to go back to the things that humans have eaten and thrived on for thousands of years. There's no point in us sourcing good raw materials and spices to go into our blends and then have someone go and put it on garbage food. So we want to have that educational piece, and we want to focus on 3 key markets. Health conscious individuals, because you know what? They prepare more than 8 of their meals a week. Um, Culinary enthusiasts, and then people who love America, people who want to buy from veterans, doing spices and take that approach that companies like Black Rifle Coffee and those have done to really bring forward, buy America, buy from a veteran owned company. And you can eat healthy and eat those classic American comfort foods that you love. Everything here is from my kitchen or my backyard, and it's as healthier than anything you're going to go out and find anywhere, using our flavors and our curated recipes to our blends. To eat healthy at home, you need 3 ingredients. You got to get the flavor right, so we're going to take care of that for you. You got to get the temperature right, so we formed a line of branded meat thermometers. And then you have to do it right, so we launched a line of cookbooks. Amazon, ebook, paperback available. Our go-to-market is not just individual spices, but gift boxes that customers can curate themselves on our website. A series of cookbooks with us and other guest authors, chefs, and other people. A subscription service with a welcome kit, and eventually going into educational content that we find partners to help us prepare. And then create that line of branded merchandise that celebrates American cuisine and American culture. The way we want to do this is through B2C. For our B2B, we want to focus on commercial kitchens, because in a commercial kitchen in a week, we can expose our brand to 100 to 120 chef entrepreneurs and build awareness of our flavors there. Use our brand as a platform to support other entrepreneurs, veteran entrepreneurs who may want to take our brand and use it, whether it's at a farmer's market or branding a food truck, or maybe eventually there's Goodnight Red River cafes that people want to open. And then partner with complementary brands, veteran-owned brands, and brands in the healthy lifestyle supply chain to find opportunities for partnerships. So a lot of competition out there. This is a $9.3 billion industry in the United States, up in a year from 7.1 billion. It's growing internationally, 4.8%, domestically about 6% a year, projected. You've got the big ones, and then you've got a lot of small brands, thousands of them. But even though they're small, they have small but loyal followings. So it is space that we have to get into, and find a way to differentiate ourselves. And that's where the healthy lifestyle approach comes in. It's not just being spices, but using spices and flavor as the foundation again of a healthy lifestyle approach, that's centered on American cuisine and culture. So right now we're a little higher in our price here. We're at $15.99 on our 8 ounce. We're in the process of bringing that down on our website to $12.99. We have enough margin in our net over our product cost to be able to do that. But as we scale over 3 years and we're able to bring our input costs down through volume, we see the ability to go down to $10.99 on the 8 ounce while increasing our net over our product costs. So we launched this during the pandemic, but during the pandemic, my main business, the consulting company, thrived and just continues to grow. So it's been the website, it's been word of mouth. I think in about 2 years, we've generated about $18,000 of revenue. We've done 2 ad campaigns to test what our conversions are. We did one on social media and we did one on Google Ads. Google Ads had a much better response that we had. And so based on that, we're projecting is when we go hard to market. My company, Business Player, is the angel behind this. And so we're funding from there to go. And so we're projecting first year about $77,000 in gross, $33,000 in net. Year 3, our projection is 575,000 gross and 335,000 net. The team behind this is the same team that's helped me build my consulting firm to $1 million in revenue a year. A lot of branding expertise, a lot of social media expertise. As I mentioned, Business Player, my main firm, is the angel behind this. We're not really looking for outside capital to give up equity, but there are some areas of expertise that can help us when we go hard to market. And that includes helping with customer conversions. We see exponential potential of getting away from social media and Google Ads and going to influencer-based promotions, where we just saw an example of that in the Levant Center program, where a $50 spend through an influencer generated the equivalent eyeballs and impact that $3,000 30-day spend on Facebook would have generated. So we see that as the opportunity for exponential growth, but we need some guidance in helping navigate the influencer market the right way. In every American kitchen is the potential for healthier lifestyles in a way that salutes our unique heritage. Goodnight's Red River is more than just a spice company. It's a gateway to healthier living in a way that celebrates American culture. I've taken 2 companies through the Levant Center. It's a great program, both sponsored by Veterans Florida. Hopefully the other one will be here next year. Thank you.
All right. When I saw your business title, I was a little concerned, but it's good to see that you're on the good side of the Red River. As a former Texan.
Well, you'll see in the book, you'll see the map of both sides of the Red River where both sides of my family came from.
All right, got it. So you got the rivalry going on up there.
Always.
Yeah. So my question, so you've kind of been on the market for a little bit. How many return customers? What's your return customer ratio on what you're selling now?
The return customer ratio has been about 40%. The other interesting point, probably the kind of key success and the validation that we got when we added the additional flavors. One of the guys who works for me in my main business also is a dive boat captain and has a dive school. He took our fresco fish to Port Salerno there in Stewart and handed it out to the 11 commercial fishermen samples and came back with 7 orders. But we've been at about 40 to 45% in return repeat customers.
Okay. And then so your cost, what's your big cost driver right now? I know you're trying to scale and get it down. What's your big hurdle there?
The big cost driver right now can be in certain of the blends. You've got price instability that can come with certain types of spices. Some of them are very stable. The most unstable ones like saffron and vanilla we don't use, and so we don't have that subject. Paprika can have some fluctuations. Oregano can have some fluctuations. We source from a very large wholesaler, one of the biggest one, who has multiple supply chains to try and and bring that down. But right now, it's the ingredients are still the biggest cost. But as we scale, it's going to be labor, except our wholesaler. We've started the conversations for them to serve as our co-packer, and so that will end up being the biggest cost. Will be our wholesaler cost.
Are your raw materials sourced in U.S. or Western Hemisphere, or you get them?
To the best extent possible, but not all. There's a few of the raw materials that are only available from overseas sources. But for something like garlic powder, we make sure that it's California. So we're looking for those options.
All right, thank you. So in terms of scaling, right? So you said your best sellers right now are the spices. Are you selling like a combo of products, right? So it's like book, thermometer, spices.
So
Like
we
what's your
sell
best selling product right now?
the best selling product right now is the Noble rib rub,
Okay.
individual spice. The second one is we pre-curated some boxes. We did an international box, we did a Latin box, we did a spicy box. The spicy box of the box ones is the biggest seller. But the individual spices right now are still the biggest seller.
And then you're selling mostly on Amazon or your website or where?
Right now, it's a website, it's a Shopify store. We've got our seller account approval from Amazon, and we're in the process of creating all of the upload documentation, all of our UPC codes, and all of that to get into Amazon and to get live on Amazon.